The champagne flute shattered against the oak floor, spraying golden liquid across my shoes. I stood frozen in the doorway of our dining room, the divorce papers trembling in my hand, as my wife, Elise, laughed with a man I'd never seen before. Her eyes, bright with a joy I hadn't sparked in years, flickered to me, then away, as if I were a ghost she'd already exorcised. The stranger's hand rested on her waist, casual but possessive, and the air grew thick with the scent of her perfume, jasmine, sharp and mocking. "To freedom," she'd toasted, her voice ablaze, before the glass slipped from her fingers at the sight of me. That moment 5 years ago carved itself into my bones, a wound that never scabbed over. I'd come home early from the office, my tie loosened, expecting to find Elise curled up with her novels, maybe a glass of wine. Instead, I walked into a celebration of our end. The papers I held, still warm from the printer, were meant to be a mutual surrender, a quiet agreement to part ways after months of cold silences and separate beds. But this was a betrayal that burned deeper than I'd ever imagined. Her laughter, his touch, the clink of glasses before my arrival, they were a script I hadn't been written into. I didn't shout. I didn't lunge. I just stood there, the weight of her indifference crushing my ribs. "You're early," she said, her voice smooth as glass, no trace of guilt. The man, broad-shouldered, with a smug tilt to his lips, didn't move. He sized me up like I was an intruder in my own home. "This is Marcus," she added, as if introducing a colleague. "He's been helping me through this." Her words were careful, but her eyes betrayed her, a flicker of defiance, a spark of something reckless. I should have seen it coming. The late-night texts she'd dismiss as work. The weekends she spent visiting her sister in Portland, returning with no stories, just a tired smile. The way her kisses grew perfunctory, like checking a box. I'd rationalized it all. Marriage ebbs and flows, I told myself. She's stressed. We're fine. But standing there, with champagne soaking into the rug and Marcus's hand still on her, I saw the truth. I'd been a fool, blind to the unraveling of my own life. "Why?" My voice cracked, raw and small. I hated how it sounded, like a child begging for answers. Elise's face softened for a moment, but it wasn't remorse, it was pity. "Because you stopped seeing me, David," she said. "Years ago." Her words landed like a slap, and I wanted to argue, to scream that I'd tried, that I'd loved her through every fight, every silence. But the truth gnawed at me. I'd let her drift, assuming she'd always be there. I left that night. The divorce was finalized in weeks, a sterile exchange of signatures and assets. I took a job across the country, trading Chicago's gray winters for Seattle's damp haze. I rebuilt my life. New apartment, new routines, new walls around my heart. But Elise lingered in the corners of my mind, her laughter echoing in quiet moments, her betrayal a shadow I couldn't outrun. I didn't date. I didn't trust. I buried myself in work, in solitude, in the rhythm of a life that felt safe but hollow. 5 years passed, each one duller than the last. Then last month, my phone buzzed with a notification from a social media platform I hadn't touched in years. A stranger's message. "Are you David Hargrove? Elise is looking for you. She's desperate. Please call this number." My pulse spiked, a mix of dread and curiosity. Why now? Why me? I ignored it, deleted the app, and tried to forget. But the messages kept coming, different accounts, different strangers, all pleading. "She needs you. She's not okay." The words clawed at me, stirring guilt I thought I'd buried. Against my better judgment, I dialed the number. A woman answered, her voice shaky but urgent. "David? Oh, thank God. I'm Claire, Elise's friend. She's in trouble. She's been trying to find you for months." My stomach twisted. Claire's words tumbled out. Hospital, debts, a breakdown. Elise had posted frantic pleas online, begging anyone who knew me to reach out. "She won't tell me everything," Claire said. "But she keeps saying your name, like you're the only one who can fix this." I wanted to hang up. I wanted to scream that Elise had no right to drag me back into her chaos. But something in Claire's voice, fear, maybe love, stopped me. "Where is she?" I asked, my throat tight. Claire gave me an address in Chicago, a rundown apartment far from the house we'd shared. I booked a flight that night, my mind a storm of questions. Why me? After everything, why me? The Chicago air was bitter when I landed, the city unchanged yet foreign. The apartment building was a crumbling relic, its hallways reeking of mildew and neglect. I knocked on her door, my heart pounding like it did that night 5 years ago. When Elise opened it, I barely recognized her. Her dark hair was brittle, her eyes sunken, her frame frail under a faded sweater. The woman who'd toasted her freedom with champagne was gone, replaced by this ghost of herself. "David," she whispered, her voice breaking. She stepped toward me, then stopped, as if afraid I'd vanish. "You came." Tears welled in her eyes, but I didn't move. I couldn't. The anger, the hurt, it all surged back, a tidal wave I'd suppressed for years. "Why am I here, Elise?" My voice was cold, sharper than I meant. She flinched, wrapping her arms around herself. I messed up," she said. "Everything. Marcus, the money, my life." Her words spilled out, fragmented and raw. Marcus had been a con, she said. A charming leech who drained her savings, her confidence, her sanity. He'd promised a new life, but left her with nothing but debts and shame. She'd spiraled, lost her job, her friends, her health. "I didn't know who else to turn to," she said, her eyes pleading. "You were always good." Good. The word stung. I'd been good, and she'd shattered me. I wanted to walk away, to let her drown in the mess she'd made. But her fragility, her desperation, it stirred something in me. Not love, not anymore, but a flicker of the man I used to be, the one who believed in saving people. She led me inside, the apartment sparse and cold. Papers littered the table, medical bills, eviction notices, a photo of us from years ago, creased and faded. "I kept it," she said, catching my gaze. "I don't know why." I didn't answer. I couldn't. The room felt like a trap, every detail pulling me back to a life I'd fought to forget. Over the next hour, she told me everything. How Marcus had manipulated her, preyed on her loneliness. How she'd ignored the red flags, his vague past, his sudden disappearances, because he made her feel alive again. How she'd realized, too late, that she'd traded love for lies. "I didn't cheat to hurt you," she said, her voice barely audible. "I cheated because I was lost." Her confession didn't erase the pain, but it cracked something open in me. Understanding, maybe, or pity. I didn't forgive her. I couldn't. But I stayed. I paid her overdue bills, arranged for a doctor, called Claire to check on her. Each act felt like a betrayal of my own heart, but I did it anyway. Why? Because I saw myself in her brokenness, the part of me that still wondered if I'd failed her first. As I left, she grabbed my hand. "I'm sorry," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. I nodded, but said nothing. The door clicked shut behind me, and I walked into the Chicago night, the weight of her apology heavy in my chest. I'd come expecting closure, maybe revenge. Instead, I found a truth more shattering than her betrayal. We'd both been lost, and neither of us had known how to find our way back.